Namaste. Namaste and a very, very warm welcome to Women of Wonder Coffee Table Special Edition. This is our initiative to bring to you stories of empowered and ambitious women so that we can all take inspiration from them. My guest today comes from the world of science and pharmaceuticals, but she found her calling when she discovered motherhood. Not in the labs, in the laboratories, but actually a real emergency C section, which changed her whole perspective towards pregnancy and the journey that a woman undergoes from conception to the birth of the baby. We are very excited to bring to you an episode where we uncover some of the practices that YogBirth shares with her clients. Welcome to the show, Zora. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, Rima. It's a privilege to be here today.
So, Zara, I want to start from the beginning of the journey. You have a healthcare background, you worked in pharmaceutical companies, in leading roles, in leadership roles, but then you found your calling in something which is not so science. I think it's science meets the sacredness of human body, right? Tell me, how did that start?
Absolutely. So, Rima, it's such a journey where science and biotechnology taught me everything about the physical body and what a magnificent machine it is, right? With so many systems that are working in symphony, right to a cellular level and genetic level, without us even knowing and realizing what's happening inside us. And a small genetic code going off can mean a life threatening genetic mutation and abnormality and diseases, right? And this is all happening at a physical level, is what science tells us. Now, that is the level of precision and intelligence that our body is operating with, and that is extraordinary. But what it did not teach me, I would say, are two things. One is that epigenetics also matter, and that means our genes are not a fixed destiny as we think they are. The way we live, the nutritional habits we have, the stress levels, the environment we live in, our sleep, our emotional patterns, all of this, these are actually buttons that can switch on and switch off our genes. And they will decide how we live our life and what kind of a genetic makeup we pass on to our next generation. So this is one thing that definitely was not written in the science books. The other thing that I realized was that we just don't have one body. It's not just the physical body. We actually have four bodies. We have a mental body, we have an emotional body, and we have a spiritual body. And all these bodies are interlaced as layers. And if anything goes off in one body, let's say my emotional body or mentally I'm very stressed, it definitely shows in my physical body as hormonal imbalance or fertility issues, for example. So we are not talking of one body in isolation. And this was very, very eye-opening. The way I saw healing changed completely.
Wow. And sometimes, your perspective changes with some life changing moments. So I want to talk about that perspective that when you became pregnant at your age, at 32, and you had an emergency C section. How did that change your, perspective of the world and how it happens?
Right. So what I realized that was our medical system, especially here in the UAE, is great at monitoring pregnancy, at managing any emergencies and complications. It's great. But there is very little to no effort when it comes to preparing the mother's body for birthing and to prepare her nervous system to go through the pregnancy and to go through motherhood. So, for example, the first advice I got from the gynac when I was 5 weeks pregnant was drink 1 liter of milk every day. It is very good. Don't do any exercises. First trimester is very delicate. Now, this is exactly the time when my energy levels were the lowest, my anxiety was the highest, and I got absolutely wrong nutritional advice. So, you can imagine what kind of a state I was in. There was nobody to tell me how to work around the anxiety that I was dealing with and around the low energy levels. And then with the next few trimesters, the only thing that was told was go for walks, right? Now, walks can definitely not strengthen my pelvic floor muscles, especially when I'm a working mother having a sedentary lifestyle. So I ended up gaining 16 kgs through my pregnancy and ended up with an emergency C-section, not even knowing what a C-section is all about. So I didn't have enough information to make an informed decision. So I almost had a regretful birth process, thinking that my body didn't even live up to its expectation, because I walked into the labor room thinking I'm going to have a natural delivery without even working for it for the 9 months. And that's when I realized there's a big gap in the system. There is lack of information. There is lack of experts who can deal with pregnancy the way it should be. And the second thing is that pregnancy is not just a physical process of, developing a baby. It is actually a soulful process because you're inviting a new soul into your life. And the soul system is completely out of syllabus for the medical fraternity, right? I knew I wanted a happy and healthy baby, but beyond that, I was aware that I'm not just passing my genes, I'm passing my emotional blueprint as well. I'm passing on my karmic spiritual debt as well. And I obviously wanted someone to guide me on that aspect too, which I didn't find in the medical fraternity.
Wonderful. So let's talk what happened after that, right? The inner awakening journey, because I know when you on your way to healing, you referred to Reiki, you went for yoga, you understood what is Garb Sanskar right in the Himalayas. How did that all kind of influence what you started building from there?
Yes. Rima, it was such a beautiful coincidence, or I would say my baby actually attracted this for himself. So immediately after my wedding, I signed up for a 9-month Reiki program. And coincidentally, I got pregnant at the same time. At the start of the first class, I knew I was pregnant. So it was as if my baby chose 9 months of me healing myself in order to bring him into this world. So when I was doing Reiki, which is the Japanese technique of using your hands on your entire body to pass on healing energies, I had a very calm and an anxious, anxiety-free pregnancy to a great extent once I saw the benefits of Reiki. And that meant I didn't have nausea. I didn't have any gastric troubles. I had a pretty smooth pregnancy in those terms. It also meant that I actually ended up having a 41 weeks full term pregnancy. So, this Reiki helped me to connect with the divine and also to write my entire life history, which I would never have otherwise written. And while writing my life history, I realized there were people I hadn't forgiven. There was some trauma that I was still holding on to. And I chose to forgive, to let go, to heal, to come over that so that this was not the time that I wanted to pass on any of these baggages to my baby. So Reiki helped me understand that this was such a beautiful tool of using your spiritual tools and spiritual awakening during pregnancy. And I would say that I can evidently see the benefits of this in my baby, like the way his personality is. I think it's the best gift I have given my child and my family because raising a child who has balanced and beautiful energies is such a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And after yoga, after my postpartum, when I had gained 16 kgs, as I told you, I was desperate to lose that weight. The only time I could steal from taking care of the baby was doing about 20 to 30 minutes of yoga on my bed. Just doing yoga consistently helped me drop all the excess weight. It helped me get even fitter than what I was preconception. So I swore to yoga, and whoever I met, all my friends, I told them to do this, to not repeat my mistakes. And I knew that I had a purpose, I had a calling that I want to help other women who are also moving towards motherhood. And I think the universe just hears it and then gives you that opportunity when you are ready for it. That's exactly what happened when I met Aman Verma, who's the co-founder of YogBirth. And he said that he is going to Rishikesh to learn about Beat Sanskar and Garb Sanskar to help other women. And I said, I am joining in. Like, this is definitely my calling. So when I went to Rishikesh, I was amazed at the wealth of information that is in our ancient Indian texts, but it hasn't been spoken about in so many years. And the best thing that I heard was that you can choose your baby's soul based on the vibrations that you give out. And that big and these warrior souls do not just coincidentally come in the world. Their mothers have done certain practices of Garb Sanskar because of which these babies have come in the world.
So when you started YogBirth, you reached out to 4,000 women in 6 months. That's such an amazing number. How did what do you think women were really searching for?
Yes. So it happened that we started running ads on Meta, and 4,000 women reached out to us in 6 months, right? Now, it became very clear that they were not just looking for another fertility solution because there are so many gynacs who've given them every hormonal treatment, options of surgeries, and IVF. And yet, they haven't found the answer. These women had tried several diets, they had tried some exercises, but they
Hmm.
still didn't find the answer. So there was something that was off. And they were all looking for that one answer why. Why is this happening to me despite me trying to do everything right?
Hmm.
Right? Uh, and when we met them, we explained to them how fertility was not just about one organ or about one hormone, but it was an entire system. And the four bodies I talked about in the start, the physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental, we actually developed a root cause analysis that helps them understand that their hormones are just not a result of them eating something wrong, but it probably lies in a trauma that is unhealed. It could lie in a relationship where they are not feeling safe. And that was very eye opening for them. That's when they understood the symphony of it all and the need to work on a healing mechanism that is beyond tablets. In fact, we help women come off tablets completely through our natural Ayurvedic and other healing modalities, all integrated together.
Wonderful. And something you often talk about is the vital force, right? Like I've heard you saying, and I read it when you were like the modern life kind of depletes a woman's fertile energy. How do we restore this vital force?
Yeah. So before we go to restoring it, let's understand why does this impact reproduction. Now, in our body, we have the nervous system, respiratory system, digestive system, which are all very, very vital for our survival. So for the body, maintaining these is super important. Reproductive system, well, we can live without even producing kids. So the amount of, and also the amount of energy that's needed for reproduction is immense. So to give you an example, one cell of the egg has 100,000 mitochondria, which are your energy powerhouses. One cell of your heart has only 5,000 mitochondria. So you can imagine the amount of energy that is needed for reproduction. And when you are depleted in energy because you are stressed and because you are not sleeping enough, you're not having good nutrition, the body says, oh, there is no energy, so we won't prioritize reproduction right now. And the first impact you would see is in your periods. Your periods are like your monthly report card. Your periods go off, your hormones go off. So they're the first things to go off, but they're the last thing the body prioritizes because it's not vital for survival. How can we restore it to your question? Yes, we can restore it through three ways. One, you can feed into the cellular energy by allowing your body enough rest, the sleep that we need of 7 to 8 hours, so that there is enough of repair that can take place of the wear and tear. Ensuring you have the right micronutrients. Today everybody's running about having enough proteins, but having enough protein without being able to digest it and not having the right micronutrient profile to feed your eggs, there is where we are doing the damage. And thirdly, I would say within cellular energy, you need to move, especially after meals, to do the least possible, because only when you move does the circulation take place, does the absorption of nutrients takes place. The second, I would say, is regulating your nervous system. If your nervous system is always under stress, cortisol eats progesterone. And when progesterone is off, your hormonal cycles, everything is going to be off. So, doing things like breath work, yoga, meditation, relaxation exercises, in order to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, that is also a way of feeding your vital energy. And lastly, we are all meeting so many people every day. We have different relationships that we are into. Every relationship leaves a mark on you. Some days you are feeling negative, you have picked up on somebody's negative energy. That is some past trauma from my childhood that I haven't healed, but I'm just trying to push under the carpet. So, healing all your emotional and your energetic blocks is super key as well, to then start feeding into the vital energy of reproduction.
Wow, what a beautiful explanation. And I think a lot of us miss the bigger picture here that, becoming pregnant, there's so much more happening around you than just, having the baby. You need to focus on yourself and your vital force. Amazing. Moving on, as a part of YogBirth and building the business, right, you also give back. And that has been an important element of that. So I know you do prenatal nutrition. What exactly is that? Why do you do that?
Okay, so we do preconception and prenatal nutrition both. Well, preconception nutrition, I would say, is the foundation stone on how your pregnancy will be. So start taking care of your nutrition during preconception phase. Moving to prenatal nutrition, in every trimester, the way your baby is developing, it has different needs. Sometimes the nervous system is developing, sometimes the brain is developing. Different requirements are there of micro and micronutrient profiling. So we need to make sure that our diet is changing every trimester. During the last trimester, you need to prepare your body for birthing. You need a lot of energy. So again, a different nutrient profile is needed. So prenatal nutrition is all about changing your nutrition profile based on the trimester needs of the baby and the mother.
Amazing. And now, being a mother yourself, right? You've gone through this journey. How does that shape what you do at YogBirth? How has that defined your leadership of building this company and building this venture?
I would say motherhood has been the biggest learning experience, right? When the baby is small, you start learning patience like nobody else can teach you. You learn to give without expecting to receive. And then as the baby grows up, we start understanding how emotional regulation is so important. So if I am stressed, immediately my baby picks up on my stress levels. When the baby is going through a sickness, at that time your faith is being tested so much, and you still have to be positive that the baby will be okay, although you can feel the pricks more than what the baby is feeling. So motherhood has been the most beautiful journey of learning all these leadership qualities, especially empathy over authority. I would say that really stands out.
Wonderful. So we talked about learning empathy as a mother. Is there, and as a leader, have you unlearned anything? Has anything in your journey regarding, fertility, success, womanhood?
Hmm.
What, in your journey in the last couple of years, what have you unlearned as a leader?
Yeah. I would say having strict timelines for everything, like being a working woman. I always had this timeline in mind that at 28, I should be married. Before 30, I should have a baby. My career should give me X amount of money by this age. Everything has to go as per this timeline. But life didn't turn out like that. I had a failed first marriage, got remarried at 32, had a baby then. So things went off. But I would say what I learned is that I had taken care of my health. And because of that, timeline was not a determinant. And for women who invest in themselves, take care of their nutrition, take care of their emotional health, make sure that they are very resilient, for them, these timelines will not be blockages. They will not interfere with the goals they want to achieve. So this is something I had to unlearn, that I am not going to be able to have a timeline and follow that precisely through my life. I need to be fluid, need to go with the flow, but need to make sure that I'm always invested in myself, so nothing can be a blockage.
Wow, what a wonderful unlearning, honestly. And I think any woman who's watching this show right now, whether she's going through fertility, conception, or motherhood, needs to take that as a learning that it becomes a part of our journey. So if you're watching this show, I hope this is giving you good inspiration and good takeaways. We're going to move to the next section. And this is the fun one. I call it the direct they'll say round, or just getting to know the fun side of Zora. So I have a few questions for you. Are you ready?
All right, let's start.
Okay, this is rapid fire, so quick answers, yeah. So, one word that describes birth:
Transformation.
science or spirituality, if you had to pick one.
I would say science based on consciousness.
Why do you say that?
When you are conscious in making your choices, then science and spirituality are not far apart. They're the same.
And smart, smart, good answer. Okay, a ritual that you never skip.
My morning gratitude and just a few moments of silence.
So, what does your morning look like typically? What's a good morning?
So I will wake up at 5:45. I'll spend 15 minutes. I'll do my prayers, give gratitude, looking at my son, my husband, feeling healthy and happy. Spend a few minutes there in bed, then move, freshen up, and start my yoga. So 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. is yoga. Uh, then 7 to 8 is my ritual of having my turmeric water, my nuts, my fruit, then my breakfast with protein. So I have that 1 hour to myself, and then I sit, plan my day. I think about what do I need to achieve today, make sure what is the boring task, what's something fun, and segregate and see how I'm going to do it. Then after my work is done, I make sure 3 to 5 p.m. I'm available for my son because he's back from school. So I spend some time with him. And after that, he goes to play. I again resume my work. So work takes place when he is not around at that time again in the evening. And then by 7, I try to shut down when my husband is back and call it a day.
Wonderful. What a good balance. Like as women, right? We're trying to balance family time and personal time and work. So, I mean, that's how typically it's like it's a nice busy day if you cover all of these aspects, and it's a good work day essentially. Okay, let's move on. What's a myth about fertility that you really wish would disappear?
That fertility is dependent on the number of eggs you have.
Okay, and is it not?
If you have even one healthy egg, You can get pregnant at 45 or 47. You just need one egg to get pregnant, not 2000.
Yeah, you just need that one good strike. Great. Okay, yoga or martial arts?
Yoga for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the morning starts with yoga. Okay, Dubai in one word.
Possibilities, endless possibilities.
And YogBirth in one sentence.
Hmm. Yogurt is a beautiful blend of ancient wisdom and modern science to help women carry, birth, or I would say conceive, birth. Sorry, I'll do this again. Okay.
Hmm.
Yogurt is a beautiful blend of science and ancient wisdom. When it comes together, it helps couples to conceive, to carry, and to birth in the most healthiest way possible.
Beautiful. And the last and the final question for the show. Imagine, Zora, you're traveling on Sheikh Zayed Road. You have a big billboard. It has your picture on it. What's the message you would like to give to everybody there?
Wow. Pregnancy is your superpower. Go get it.
Wonderful. Pregnancy is your superpower. That's the message from our founder of YogBirth, Zora. It was lovely talking to you. I hope this conversation gives hope and and inspiration to a lot of women and especially a lot of people who are watching this show. If you got inspired, if you liked what we talked about, please like, subscribe, and share this episode with somebody, some woman who's looking out for a ray of hope, trying to get pregnant or going through that pregnancy journey. It can inspire and can make a transformation for them. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to come welcoming you back to another Women of Wonder very, very soon. Namaste. Thank you, Zahra.